What is up, everybody? This is Erik, the one and only Bear Collector, and today I'm going to be reviewing a game that's expensive to own. However, it is very unique because it's tied into a mini movie franchise and an anime. And that game is Hyper Area for the NES, or better yet, for the Famicom, Super Famicom, I mean. This game came out back in 1995 in the Super Famicom, and the game takes place. So there's, okay, in order for me to explain this game, basically you are the bounty hunter Iria out to find alien being called a Zerum, if that makes sense. But basically this game is based on the OVA animation that came out after the movies, or between the live adaptation of the movies. Let me explain further. Let's come back. So originally, there in 1991 in Japan, a movie called Zerum was released, and it's about the bounty hunter Iria out to find the alien being and capture the alien being Zerum. However, the movie has a sequel that came out in 1995. I haven't seen the movies yet. However, I did just finish watching the anime, the OVA. The OVA anime is called, and it's this one right here. Let me bring it up. It's this one right here, Iria Zerum, the animation. So this one, I'll put it right here so you guys can see. Before we talk about the game, we have to talk about this anime. So the anime is a 6-part, it's a mini series, 6-part series that tells the origin of Iria and how she came about to hunt the alien creature Zerum. In order for me to explain the game, I have to explain the anime. The movies, haven't watched them yet, and that themselves, Zerum 1 and 2, Zerum 1 has another video game tied in for the PS1 based off of the movie. But I'm not going to be discussing the movies nor the PS1 game. I'm going to be discussing the Super Famicom game and Iria. So let's begin with the anime. Iria Zerum, the animation, is a 6-part OVA that came out between Zerum 1 and Zerum 2. Around 1994, it was dubbed in English. Around 1995, it was English dubbed. It wasn't translated, but it was dubbed. And so it takes place like a few years before Zerum, the original movie. It explains the history of Iria, of how she became a bounty hunter, and how she first encountered the Zerum alien creature. The movie, they do say that the original Zerum movie is a little bit, the anime is a little bit off to the movie, because in the movie, in Zerum, the original movie, Iria encounters the Zerum for the first time. However, in the anime, since the anime is a prequel to the movie, it kind of like, she already had encountered the creature. So basically, Iria is she's a bounty hunter to be, and her brother Glenn is part of a small group of bounty hunters, with the main leader of the bounty hunter group called Bob, and another, sorry if I butcher the name for the other bounty hunter's name is Fujikio or Fujikiko. I'll put it in the description below. I apologize for butchering the name. And they're all part of this small bounty hunter group. Basically, Glenn and Bob get a message that there's a ship out in space that they send an SOS signal that they need to be rescued. And so Glenn and Bob go to the ship to investigate it. But then Iria goes with them. And that's the first encounter of Zerum, the creature who has killed everybody in the ship and has taken possession of the ship. And they're trying to figure out who that creature was. So the whole mini-series, I'm not going to spoil the mini-series because it's a really good anime. I suggest you guys should watch it before playing the game. It'll give you a lot more answers, and I'll go over the game in a minute. and it basically goes, the anime, shows Iria going after Zeram. And what is Zeram? Zeram is actually an alien creature. It's able to morph into other humanoid beings, as well as it reminds me a lot of the alien creature from Aliens. On top of his forehead, he has like this little head that pops out, kind of similar like Aliens, where the alien opens up the mouth and then another alien head comes out of the mouth from the tongue. So it's kind of very similar to that, but it's more of a humanoid creature, very powerful, very indestructible. And so throughout the anime, they're trying to figure out how they can get rid of it and not have them, because there's other Zarams out there that they can summon. So they're trying to figure out how to get rid of it, and that's pretty much the anime. And I'm not gonna spoil it with you guys, because it gives you a deep understanding of the whole history of the whole series. But going back to the game, so Iria is an anime. Hyper Iria for the Super Famicom is actually, this was fan translated into an English game. Basically, this game is a 2D side-scrolling platformer. Best way that I can describe you the gameplay, it reminds me a lot of games kind of like James Bond Jr., if you guys know, for the Super Nintendo, and games like that they're kind of like side-scrolling stages, but with kind of like puzzle elements where you have to figure out your way around the levels. And in between levels, you fly your mini ship, your mini glider, to get to one section to another. And you also buy weapons and items and upgrades. There are two very important weapons. There's a pair of shoes that make you jump higher, and another set of wings that you can glide. Big suggestion, get those wings first that you can glide. They'll help you a lot. But basically the game is 6 stages, and you go through each level figuring out how to get rid of Zeram, or how to capture Zeram. But one thing that's interesting about the game, after watching the OVA animation, is that this one makes it feel like it happens right after this happens before the game. So it's kind of like the game comes right after it, but in a way it's kind of like in between. It's really strange because, like I mentioned, Bob eventually becomes, I'll spoil this one, Bob becomes, he gets transformed into like a computer program that helps out Iria on her missions. And eventually she becomes an actual bounty hunter. She gets her license. So this is when the game takes place, that she actually gets her license for the first time, and she goes out on missions. Pretty fun game, I would say. The only thing I don't like is the jumping in the game. It's really hard to control Iria when you jump. It kind of gets tricky. You'll see when I play some of the levels in the gameplay, it gets to that. But yeah, all in all, it was a fun game, very memorable. I love it that it's only 6 episodes, and the game takes place probably around or right after it, so it's a good companion to have that. Nonetheless, fun game. Expensive game to own in the Japanese version, the original. This is, of course, a reproduction. It looks like a very nice reproduction, but it's a reproduction nonetheless. And so I highly recommend the game, and I highly recommend the animation, the anime. I will watch the movies eventually after, from right now, because there is, like I mentioned earlier, a PS1 tie-in to the actual movies. It's a beat 'em up. And I wanna later, I'm planning on doing a video in the near future on the movies as well as the game, and let you guys know and compare maybe this to that and see how it is. But all in all, really fun game. Good experience. This game is pretty difficult. I mean, it has a setting to set your difficulty, and it has a password save feature. But all in all, it's a difficult game. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're playing just the Japanese version of it, it's gonna be really hard to maneuver through the stages, because Bob helps you navigate through the levels and kind of tells you where to go. So it makes it easy. But if you're playing it in pure Japanese and you don't understand Japanese, it gets complicated. So definitely play this one in English if you can't speak Japanese. All in all, fun game. Highly recommend this one. A rarity. I just learned about this game not long ago. And I had a lot of fun playing it. So hope you guys enjoy the gameplay footage of the game. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys take care. Peace out.